Okay, it's another Saturday morning and time for another video. So let's get into this. I wanted to start out by saying what an enjoyable time I had visiting McNairy County this past week. We had a good meet and greet there in Selmer. It was a lot of fun. Got to visit with people that I have spoken with by phone, exchanged messages through email and messenger, so on. And it was really nice to get to see people in person. You know, after the meet and greet, we got to go over to the museum in Adamsville. Everybody was friendly over there. Everything went really good, smooth. People got to see where Buford lived, where Pauline lived. At any rate, from the museum, we managed to go on down, take the route that Buford and Pauline took the morning of the alleged ambush. And a lot of people weren't aware of just how long that route was and just how sparsely populated it was. Even now, the roads are not the best. Lots of curves, kind of narrow, but it really made a lot of people wonder why that Buford would have gone that way when he could have gone down Highway 64, got on 45, and then gone down to Hollis Jordan's. They're about a mile north of the state line. But at any rate, along the way, we stopped at the church. Everybody got a look at things there. From that point, we drove 7/10 of a mile on down to the first ambush site. Took a lot of photos, discussed a lot there. Then we got to moving again. Moved on down to the second ambush site. Dennis Hathcock explained what he saw that morning, what he found. From that point, we went on down to the state line so people could see where the Plantation Club, the Shamrock Motel, restaurant, the White Iris were all located. Dahmer's store, where he stopped. From that point, we went on into Eastview. Of course, along the way, we did pass where Sheriff Dickey had his accident and was killed. We got to Eastview, and people could see where Alan McCoy's store was, where Buford finally stopped the morning of the ambush, where they found him, rendered some medical care, and sent him on to the hospital while they processed the car and Pauline's body. At any rate, from that point, we went on into Selmer, and the folks there at the courthouse were kind enough to take us on a tour of the jail. A lot of people there weren't aware of what a 1960s era jail looked like, but it was really interesting for everybody. We got to see Buford's office, and it was kind of amazed people. I'm going to cover something about that in another video. But at any rate, today what I wanted to talk about, a couple of sites we didn't get to see. One was the location of the old Hickory Grill, and then also just down the road a little ways, Willie Bees, which was the place where a lot of the black community liked to go to the club. But at any rate, we're going to take a look at those right now so that everybody can get some idea. These places were not close to the state line like a lot of people imagine. So at any rate, here we go. Now the first place we're going to take a look at is the old Hickory Grill on Guy's Chihuahua Road. Now, like I said, it's not as close to the state line as people think. A lot of times when you talk about the state line, they have a tendency to focus on the Plantation Club, the Shamrock, the White Iris, and so on. But the old Hickory Grill was a ways up Highway 45, and then you turn off on Guy's Chihuahua Road, and you go down a mile or so, and you find the place. Now, I don't know how everybody else was, but when I watched the movie Walking Tall, I got the impression that all of these clubs and so on were a lot closer than what they actually are. You drive a ways down this road. It's tree lined, there's not many homes, probably even fewer back then. And it's quite a little drive. If you notice, as we approach the old Hickory Grill, there's going to be a water tower up on the right side. Maybe you can see it in this video. I'm not really sure. Let's take a look. You know, I can only imagine what it was like back in those days on this road. You had people going to clubs. You know that they were drinking. You know, you had two clubs close together, and I'm amazed that they didn't have a lot of accidents along this way. At any rate, as we go on down, we'll approach the Old Hickory Grill first. As you can see, the Old Hickory Grill sat a ways off the roadway itself. This is not the building that the Old Hickory Grill was in. It no longer is there. But as we get around this building, you'll see where it was located. The site of the Old Hickory Grill is right in front of us at this point. Willie Bees is the next place that we're going to take a look at. Now, over the years, it saw some transformations. At one time, it was a one-story building and eventually became a two-story. There's nothing going on there now. As you're leaving the Old Hickory Grill, you turn to your right. It's just a short distance down to Willie Bees. Notice the road to your right here. If you follow that up a ways, you'll find where Pearl Wade, Buford's black girlfriend, used to live. There was a mobile home up there right behind Willie Bees. I've often wondered if Buford and Towhead White ever showed up at Pearl Wade's residence about the same time. That could have been a mess. Willie Bees is the brown building down on your right. As we get down that way, you might pay attention to the driveways. These are where Willie Wade and different members of his family lived. Well, there you have it. Now you know where the Old Hickory Grill and Willie Bees were. Now, Thursday, what we're going to do is continue on with the ambush. We're going to take a look at everything between the first and second ambush sites. We're going to see it both in daylight and dark. So that'll give people something to think about. And then next Saturday is take a look inside the old McNairy County Jail. We're going to go through the cell block, see how everything was there, and we're also going to see Buford's office. And it's not quite what most people think. But at any rate, until then, just remember, the truth has no agenda.